Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Design Therapy. I'm your host, Cassie Patterson, a graphic designer and creative strategist in Nashville, Tennessee. And on this episode, I have a fellow brand strategist and designer, ex-developer, Richard from Nigeria. He is with The.Brand.Rich. Thank you so much for coming on the episode today.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, tell
Awesome to be
everybody,
here.
do what?
Awesome to be here.
I'm excited for you to be here. I had another guest on last week that was from South Africa. So
Mm,
I'm starting to get a little bit wider reach in the globe, and I love having guests from all over the world coming on and talking about their journey.
yeah, that's amazing.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you
All
are
right.
doing, and how you got to where you're at in your creative journey.
All right. Let's start from the beginning. I
Okay.
uh, I started out as a developer, like I said.
Okay.
Um, I started out learning C sharp, some programming languages. Then
Everything
after
I
that,
don't like.
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
most graphic designers are like, I took a
yeah.
development class in college and I was like, this is not for
Not for me.
me. I quit
So,
about PHP,
uh,
the developing, what is it called? A system or
system
a data,
architecture.
a data
Okay, the
system.
data. Okay.
I quit. I was like, I can't do it. This is not for me.
So I started that. Then I went to school to learn more
Okay.
as a software engineer. Picked up Flutter,
Hmm.
picked up Dart language. So I started developing my skills, my development skills. And along the line, I fell into design. I had a history of designing. I'm
Uh-huh.
good at drawing. I'm very good at drawing.
That's awesome.
So I'm very good at drawing. So because of that, I just fell in love with design more. Currently, I also do development, but not as much as design. I focus on, if I do development for an app, I focus on the design, the UI and UX,
Hmm.
so the front end development. So mostly in design, I just revolve my life around design, both
Hmm.
in creating identities, website design, app
Hmm.
design, just design. So I fell into design and I started out by creating flyers, posters, all those kind of
Uh-huh.
stuff. Then I went into logos. This is years ago when I just when I just wanted to create my Instagram to focus more on what I do. Then after that, I figured out I need to upgrade my skills. Can't just be
Hmm.
doing flyers, posters, and whatever. So I then learned more about it. Uh, I went to YouTube and
Hmm.
found the future. Definitely,
Of
you know
course.
Chris Doe. Everyone knows
Everybody in
Chris
our
Doe.
community knows Christo.
I fell in love with the channel. I fell in love with the Futures channel. I learned a lot about design, the
Hmm.
business of design, and I figured out instead of just focusing on design, why don't I design to actually solve people's problems?
Yeah,
So that was
it's
why
so much
I picked up
deeper.
brand identity design. Yeah. I picked up brand identity design and focused on using my skills, my design skills to actually solve people's challenges, not just create
Hmm.
logos, create flyers just for the need of creating
Not
them.
making it just look pretty,
Yeah, exactly.
There's a little bit more depth, actually a lot more depth. There's a lot more of a discovery process and, really figuring out, like you said, solving people's problems and helping them find a solution that's going to be more long-term than something that's short-lived as like
Yeah,
a pretty flyer.
yeah, true.
What was that defining moment for you from when you went from a developer into graphic design? Was there a moment for you that you just kind of realized that it changed you and it made you realize that you really love design a lot more and brand identity? And what was that change for you?
Uh, in development, I started with creating apps for the Windows platform.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to mobile, but I saw that I was too focused on just that in development. I'm the kind of person that like, should I say, a problem solver.
Uh-huh.
I'm drawn toward problems. I love seeking the solutions to problems.
You're kind of an
So
investigator, you know?
yeah, exactly. You got that right. I'm kind of investigator. So I just thought that, let me go more further in this. Let me just don't let me create it just for creating sake. Let me actually create what will solve people's problems, what people will need.
Hmm.
Let me know what people are facing,
So you
then
became a
transform that.
strategist before you
Yeah,
became a designer.
yeah.
Okay.
Then I didn't really know about brand strategy early on. I just thought that, oh, you know what, I want to solve people's problems with design. Then I
Mm-hmm.
picked up design, and then I figured out, oh, I can use strategy to incorporate it into my process and actually solve bigger problems for my
Mm-hmm.
clients, my customers. So that actually moved me a little bit away from development and going to design.
Mm-hmm. That's
So that was pretty
awesome.
much the turning point for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. You know, it's crazy when you realize that you have like certain skill sets throughout your life. You're like, I'm an investigator. I'm someone who seeks like I love to like find the rhythm and flow in things, and
Yeah,
I'm more of a movement even in my like life or my energy or my career or anything like that. And I find more of the rhythm of things. So I don't
yeah.
know what you would call that. I'm not necessarily an investigator, but it's interesting when you find those certain facets of yourself that it really draws you into what kind of career path that you want to take.
Yeah, true, true. I agree with that. Uh, is what the things I actually faced too. Like I said, that even happened to me when I was in school.
Yeah.
So when I was learning software engineering, I figured that I needed more. So you know what? I just said, you know what? I have to go. I have to go further. I have to go further. Then I picked up. I went to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
studied some of the courses. I went online, some of the courses on online. I picked them up, learned, went to YouTube, binge watched the futures videos,
Yep, me too.
uh, uh, took a lot of notes, basically just trying to transform my thinking and
Hmm.
going to the way I want.
Yeah, that's cool. So I know that you said that you have always been a drawer and you've always had this skill set. Where
Yeah.
did your creative journey begin for you in your life? Like, were you really young? Was it something you acquired when you were older? Like, what sparked your creative journey from the very beginning?
Ever since I was young, I used all my notes, my
Uh-huh.
school notes, as a drawing, as a drawing book. So
Uh-huh.
I always draw in my free time. So I've been an artist since when I was young, at a
Yeah.
young age. So I was always drawing, always drawing, always drawing. So I was into design ever
Uh-huh.
since I was little. So I wasn't a stranger when I opened Photoshop and started using it, because
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to shade when I was drawing. I knew all the lines. So I was into that since a young age. So into when I'm going into design, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too hard for me to know my way around.
Yeah. And you knew like all the perspective and depths, because I know for me, I didn't draw. I drew a little bit when I was little, but when I didn't really get into my creative career until college. So I
Oh,
was 18, 19 years old, and I was having
mm,
to catch up to everybody in school, like especially in, so did you ever, I had to take a what's it called, like a actual like art class where you draw in the art class with like models or still life or anything like that.
mm.
And I was so behind. I was so behind. I got in there and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like somebody has a short arm, somebody has a long arm. It wasn't good for me.
Yeah. But I didn't go to school to learn art. Actually, from over here in Nigeria,
Hmm.
uh, after high school, that was it. I didn't actually go to college.
Uh-huh.
So after high school, I went to school, the School of Development. It's a
Hmm.
school, the governmental school here that you can learn coding. So I went there as a software engineer, picked up software engineering. So after that,
Awesome.
then in the school, I got my turnaround into design. And
Yeah.
after school, I ventured out and practiced more, practice to increase my skills in design.
Mm-hmm.
So high school development, design, and out like that. That's pretty much. It's a weird journey, but that's
It,
pretty much my
that's
flow.
your journey. That's what makes it
Yeah,
beautiful. It makes you who you are today, and
exactly.
it makes you who the designer and creator and brand strategist for your clients, the people that
Yeah,
need you to solve their problems.
yeah.
So what do you do to get into your creative mode or every single
Mm.
day? So like, what does it do? What do you do? Do you have like a process? Do you have a methodology? Do you wake up in the morning? I'm like, I'm going to sit down and draw and drink my coffee. And like, what do you do to get into the mood?
Uh, First of all, when I get up, I love music,
Uh-huh.
so I turn on some music, some lo-fi, and
Okay.
because of the beats, the low beats,
Mm-hmm.
I
You're going to have to share some of that with us where you have to give us a
okay.
playlist. I'm
Oh,
serious. We'll add, you have to make a
normally,
playlist.
normally I just go to Spotify and I type lo-fi and play any song it brings up. So normally what actually gets me going is uh, what will I create right now that will help someone else,
Mm-hmm.
either a designer or a prospective client? What will I create that the person can find of value?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I actually put in my mind anytime I create something, whether it's a logo or just doodling on a paper, just sketching. I just have this thought in my mind. What will
Mm-hmm.
I do right now that will bring value to another person? That is always, always, always what I put in my mind. Anytime, or any design I make, carousel, whatever, that's always
Mm-hmm.
what I have in mind. I always want to put value to another person.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. I know that you posted a few days ago a
Hmm.
brand that you've been working on for a while with the crown.
Yeah, window.
Uh, yeah. So tell us a little bit about like what was your journey like developing that and helping implement kind of that whole brand identity.
All right. He approached me, Andrew, uh, told me about his brand that he wants to work on it, and I was like, oh, fine, cool. So we went from the discovery
Mm-hmm.
to a kind of deep discovery, or my deep discovery. I won't say I go into brand strategy per se in the word in its sense, but I go into a deep discovery to uncover what he really, or he or she, I'm talking about Andrew now, what he really wants. So we
Mm-hmm.
discussed, and we figured out his target audience, his goals, his values,
Mm-hmm.
how he wants to make Window memorable and to be identified by his own target audience. So we went to that deep discovery. Then after the deep discovery, I got on. It was my turn for the design phase, the creative
Uh-huh.
phase. So after that, I created some revisions for him. Two. I don't do more than two because after the deep discovery, you should know exactly what client wants.
It's important to have a limit. If you
Yeah,
give,
yeah,
I have learned that the hard way through the
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Early on in my career, I was like, let me give you everything. And then they can't
Mm,
decide. And
true,
you kind of skip that phase of that discovery process. And you learn that as you go through your career and start to really narrow down that process.
true. So after that, he he picked the second one. I gave him two stylescapes. He chose the
Mm-hmm.
more premium feel.
Uh-huh.
So he went with that. So that was it. That was just it. Just like,
And then you started developing from there.
yeah, I started developing from the different elements, where
Mm-hmm.
he's going to use it on, the billboards, just like that.
Mm-hmm. That's
It was a
awesome.
nice process. I enjoyed working with Andrew.
Oh, you'll have to take a picture of a billboard that's up and out. You'll have to
Yeah,
attach it.
when because I did some mock-ups for him
Uh-huh.
to show how it will look. So he said, "Oh, fine, this is nice. When it's up, that will show you how it works." So okay, fine, that's cool.
Awesome. I love that. Well, so who are some of your I know you said Chris Do was one of your influences, you know, who
Yeah.
throughout the years, who are some of your other artistic influences that kind of help develop your career? Like what really affects your aesthetic and your style? I know it kind of changes for every client, but who influenced you the most as a brand strategist? I know you have Team Yellow. I saw the entire Team Yellow on Instagram. You've joined in. I see it.
Yeah, yes, I have. uh, um, as a designer, James Martin,
Uh-huh.
logo designer James Martin, Michael Janda. I love that guy.
He's so nice.
Uh, yeah, he's so nice. We talk, we chat a lot on Instagram, and he's really cool.
He really
Um,
is.
Frank,
Mm-hmm.
Frank Regan, Bless Creatives, Bless On. Yeah, he's really good too. Um, Fiend Design, Fiend
Mm-hmm.
Adeni. He's also a Nigerian. Designed by Noah Osas. Uh, Seban, Seban Ali. I hope I'm not messing up your name, Seban Ali. But Seban, yeah, I really like him too.
Do you have any
So
other influences like that are not necessarily in design? Like you have like anything, because anything can influence your life. So I
yeah.
know for me, a lot of old movies and music influenced my aesthetic throughout the years and who I
Hmm.
developed. Is there anything around you that influences you in that way?
To be honest, not really, not
Your
really.
music doesn't
I
influence you?
Not really, not
No.
necessarily. The thing is that with practice, I actually figure out my own style.
Mm-hmm.
So I practice a lot. So I find out that I'm doing certain things the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So then I figure out, oh, well, this might be my style because I figured out I shouldn't actually look for my style in a sense, but I should just keep on practicing, practicing, and then I'll figure out this is the way I do things, and this is what people will know me for. This is how people will know me that I do things, and this is pretty much who I am, what I do, how I do it.
It's that
So
investigator in you.
yeah, kind of.
And finding the patterns. I know when I was in college, I took a class from, we had a lady come from Germany and taught a semester for us. And she taught us
Mhm.
on like shapes and typography and all of that, and iconography, not typography, iconography.
Okay.
And we learned so much about patterns and consistency, and it's mathematical. It's not necessarily, you know, you're creating this flow or this shape or something that's influenced by your surroundings. You basically cut up geometric shapes and you cut them up into fourths, and you keep creating these different patterns and icons, and it's very mathematical. So you have like your first block of four, then you mix it up and you have a second block of four, and then your third block. And I really thought that was interesting because you start to see these patterns in like your work and design,
Yeah.
and it starts to draw, like you said, you know, the way that you develop and process things and create things. And it's very interesting that it's more sometimes mathematical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, very cool. So what are some of the biggest obstacles you've had in your career so far?
Mm, Lots, but I would pick out a few.
Okay.
Um, First of all, I didn't have enough when I was starting out. Let's start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough resources to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to do it my own by myself. I was
Uh-huh.
blessed enough to have a laptop where in this area, this vicinity, you don't easily have those resources you should have, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a laptop, so I used that to develop my skills. Um, Electricity was one problem early on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even having data, funny as it seems, was another problem early on. So
Yeah.
those things were like hindrances for me to develop my skills faster. But
Mm-hmm.
as I grew, I started to scale those mountains. Um, at a point, the data was not a problem. At a point, electricity was not a problem. So gradually, early on, I began to upscale, to cross those mountains, I should say. Also, by myself, um, I wasn't the kind of person that was easily, that loves, how should I put it now? I wasn't the kind of person that, is was easily accessible to everyone. I'll put my house, I will put myself as an introvert.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I had that challenge of bringing myself outside, letting
And
people
look at you
see.
now.
Yeah,
You're
look
on
at
a
me now, right?
look at me now. Be like, please, I'm on
Oh,
interviewing
so
on camera live.
okay. So yeah, those challenges was they were strong for me. I won't say too strong. They were strong for me, but gradually, I scaled them. So
Mhm.
now I'm also planning uh on my Instagram page. I'm also planning on getting some photos of myself out there. I have a
Yeah. We
checklist.
want to see who you are.
Yeah, I know, right?
I had a hard time finding. I found your Google and I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, that's what he looks like."
So I have a checklist of things I want to do to my Instagram on my Instagram page. A
Yeah.
video, Instagram live, profile photo of myself, just like yesterday. So gradually, I will definitely check them all, but
We
very soon.
connect to the person, and
Yeah,
your work, speaks to for you, 80-90%, but there's still we want to hear the artist who is behind
yeah.
all of that creative work. And your voice is unique and you have to showcase that. So I'm very proud of you for overcoming that introvertedness and everything that you've done in your life, the obstacles. That's amazing that
Thank you so
you've
much.
persevered and pursued and continued to build your company and your career.
Thank you so much, Cassie. I really appreciate it.
It's awesome. We'll have to get you on video. We'll have to do a Instagram live and and
Okay.
and push your boundaries.
Yeah. I would love that. Really, I would love that.
I've done a couple. I'm not real comfortable with them either, I
Yeah.
must
Okay.
say, because it's very high pressured and there's like lots of
True.
people just staring at you and you can see the
Yeah.
live
You're
numbers.
live there.
I feel more comfortable with like pre-recorded, but yeah, I've
Yeah.
done a couple and it's challenging, but once you do a few and get them under your belt, it's like, okay, I can do this.
True.
So what keeps you motivated in your career? How do you stay motivated every day, to continually come up, with these new ideas and pushing your career and I know for us as artists, we find a lot of burnout. Sometimes it's graphic designers. I've had this conversation, with a few other
Mm.
designers, and we all at some point just feel like we're constantly creating and creating. And how do you replenish that cup for yourself?
Mm, um, if you ask this question to another person in another country, the person will have his or her own answer. But for me personally, it's waking up in the morning and knowing that if I don't work, I would not be able to eat. So that was really enough for me early on.
Yeah.
That if I don't work, I won't eat. So I had to pour myself out to work and work and work. And unfortunately, it hit a point where I was like, I can't take it anymore. So I had a schedule that, okay, if I work at a certain and I reach a certain point, I would rest
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll start to work again. So I didn't want to push my body over its limit. So I
Yeah.
work and rest, work and rest. So I had that schedule, and that schedule really guided me a lot. Otherwise, I don't know. So I had to keep my body in check, keep my work in check,
Yeah.
and play it safe, and
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy my journey.
Yeah.
I just
That's
had to do that.
amazing.
And there were points in time where motivation was really low, but
Mm-hmm.
um, sometimes I go to YouTube to watch these motivational videos,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. So yeah, the guys like Gary V,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Robbins, those guys really inspire me a lot to do more than I supposed to do or that I should do. So that's what I use to keep my motivation up. The fact that I need to work to get money, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that the videos I watch, and also I also keep this kind of anchor of rest there. So I shouldn't work over to stress my body too much. So I should
Mm-hmm.
also rest as well. So I just try to keep that balance
Mm-hmm.
between work and rest, so as to
Yeah.
keep my motivation up as well.
Oh my goodness. You have such a beautiful story. You really do. And you got to share this with other people and like letting them know like the journey is so unique to each individual and how we design and get where we are in our careers, you know, and having to fight to get there, you know. And
Yeah,
that's amazing that you've found a way to fight and push past everything, all your obstacles to get where you're at. That's amazing.
thank you so much, Cassie.
So, what do you feel like your city where you're living, your country, has an influence on your aesthetic? Because I know for me, like being in Nashville, I'm in like country capital.
Mhm.
Does it affect, you know, sometimes the way that you design or approach an idea?
Uh, I am Yoruba. It's a tribe in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, I I was born in Lagos. I grew up most of my life in Benin. So Yoruba and Benin, they are not the same tribe. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to live in Benin, you have to know their language. So although I didn't really know Benin, I just still don't know Benin. Uh, but I won't say where my country or state or vicinity really contributed to it. I just uh, found out myself, I should say. I won't
Mm-hmm.
say I had any external factor from my environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned for myself what I am capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned for myself what I can do. I learned for myself how I can scale that up as well.
Yeah.
So pretty much what I know now, I would
Mm-hmm.
say it's pretty much the result of constant practice and repetition. So that's pretty much
It's all
how
you.
I can
It's all
explain. It's
you.
all me.
It's all
So,
you.
so that's pretty much how I
You can
explain
toot your horn. It's all me.
it.
That's so
Yeah,
cool. Very cool.
thank you.
So, what is some advice that you've been given throughout your career that's really resonated with you? You know, what is something that's really stuck with you? You know, being from, you know, a web developer
Uh-huh.
into a graphic designer into a brand strategist, like what is some advice that's really just kind of been with you
So,
through the whole process?
yeah. Uh, Michael Janda, Mike was actually the one that introduced me to the phrase "enjoy the journey" or "enjoy your journey."
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point in my life complaining about where I was. I wanted to be here, but I was here, and I was complaining that why am I stuck here? I want to be here. So he introduced me to the phrase. He didn't personally introduce me, but he said it in one of his carousels also, that enjoy your journey, just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So that really stuck to me that, you know what, I might be here now. I know I'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to need to enjoy my journey from here to here. So that really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Uh, I learned not to go too hard on myself, so as not to fall flat, so
Uh-huh.
as not to regret. So
Yeah.
those kind of things actually stuck with me. Uh, that's pretty much it. I would say I didn't really receive much, but that phrase really stuck with me
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, it really stuck with me a lot. It kept me from wishing too much. It kept me from doing what I can do, what I'm capable of doing by myself, so as not to keep on overthinking, and that would affect me. I had a point in my life where I was caught in overthink. I was almost depressed. So
Mm-hmm.
because I began to overthink too much, so I just kept myself balanced. That
Yeah.
phrase kept
Find
me
that balance.
balanced. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you'll get there. Just
Yeah.
continue to just go gradually, gradually. You'll get there. So that
You
really
never
stuck with me.
know what's
Still
right
sticking
around
with
the
me right
corner.
now.
you know,
Yeah,
like
true, true.
we all just have to, we only get one life, and this is, you know, what we have to enjoy in this moment. And you know, I think we all struggle with that finding that balance in life and being like, we want to be those, the best of the best in our
Yeah,
industry and the top of the top, and be that millionaire, billionaire. And I'm like, I'm here, I've made it. And you know, we all just, we have to be, I do the same thing. Like, I'm grateful every single day being able to wake up and breathe and thank,
exactly.
you know, you thank whoever you thank, God or the universe or whoever you want to thank, and just say, I can breathe again today. The sun is shining.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have to be grateful for that in the first place. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what I want to leave everyone with is what's some advice you would give to other people in your industry, of those from that are learning and wanting to start their career? Like, what would advice would you give them?
Mm. First of all, uh, practice.
Mm-hmm.
Practice makes perfect. Everyone has heard that one before. The more you practice, the more you are good at whatever you do. If it's design, speaking,
Mm-hmm.
uh, programming, anything, just practice, practice, practice. And also, like I said, enjoy your journey. Learn to enjoy every step you make.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to not despise your failures. Failure is your best teacher. I've had so much failures, and I'm still having failures, but I'm not rescinding. I'm not going back. I'm not like, why did I fail? I actually like to see myself not really fail, but I actually have a positive outlook on failure. Don't see failure as a bad thing. See it as a good thing.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't
Um,
define you. It
yeah, it
helps
doesn't define
elevate
you.
you, and you learn from it.
Yeah, failure doesn't define you at all. Try to put value into another person. Don't just do whatever you are doing just for doing sake. Do it to help another person. It will help in your business really. You can't really be in business by just for business sake. You have to be in business to help another person, because you actually make money that. Um, uh, Another thing is, don't be vague. Try and don't copy. Don't copy people. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
another thing that
That's a
actually
big thing
stuck
in
with
our
me a lot.
community. A
Yeah,
big.
yeah. Don't. I mean, be inspired. Yes,
Yes.
you are free to be inspired, but do not copy people. I was
Mm-hmm.
inspired by Chris, Mike, Blesson, those guys. I was like, wow, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing good. But I didn't really copy them.
Mm-hmm.
I practiced, practice, follow their steps. That, oh, this guy, this is the way they do things, the outlook on life, outlook on design, business of design. But don't necessarily copy them, because if someone copies me, I wouldn't really like it, because I kind of find myself boring. So I won't
No,
really
your
want to see
work is
another boring.
amazing. Oh my goodness. You have found your voice. Like, your brand and what you represent and put out there is uniquely you. It really is.
Exactly. So just try to be yourself. Don't
Yeah.
copy another person. I mean, I want to see another person. I don't want to see another me. I want to see another person apart from me that I can
Hmm.
appreciate, learn from. So just have these things in your mind, and you are good to go, really.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
That's awesome. Well, thank you
Oh,
so
and
much.
also,
Yeah.
another thing I want to add, always learn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very important. Always
Yes.
learn. There is no limit
Yes.
to learning. There's no limit to knowledge. Always try to learn as much as you can. Uh, that's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to add
We
that
have
in.
an unlimited resource, you know,
Yeah,
online with the internet. We have an unlimited resource. Everything
yeah,
is basically for free if you can find it. And
true.
you dig and go on YouTube, go on, you know, Skillshare if you're looking for, you know, new skills, or wherever, you know. That's such a good thing. Always continue to learn.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I loved hearing about your journey, and I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there and pushing those boundaries so that everybody knows who you are now. And
thank
I
you.
won't be like, this is Richard of The.Brand.Rich. We know him now.
Yeah, yeah. Very soon. lots of more people will know me when I put my face
Yes, you need to
on
get
my
a
Instagram
profile
page.
pic.
Yeah, yeah. A profile pic, Instagram Live, IGTV video. Lots of that are coming soon. Lots of that are
Are
coming
you
soon.
gonna do the yellow background?
I think. I
Yes.
think. Yeah, yeah. Most likely, yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, you know you want to.
Yeah. I know. I want to, right? Yeah, I will. I will.
Hey, mine's pink, so you know,
Yeah, yeah.
mine's a pink
Yeah, that's fine.
background.
Pink. I'll put. Hmm. Nah, I'm good with yellow. I'm good with yellow.
Yellow. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Well, tell
Thank
everybody
you so
where
much,
they
Cassie.
can follow you, like you, subscribe. Tell us all the things that
Hmm.
all the followers can find you at.
Okay. Instagram at The.Brand.Rich. The.Brand.Rich. Dribble The.Brand.Rich. Behance.net, The.Brand.Rich. LinkedIn as well. You can just search my name, Richard Ajayi.
Okay.
You'll probably see my face, one of the lists
Your
there.
face, yes.
Yes, my face is on LinkedIn. I don't know why I didn't add it to my Instagram page. My face is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but I don't do much there. I'm not on YouTube that much. I don't post much on YouTube. Maybe in the future. Uh, yeah, you can just find me in those four, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll have all those links. You can send those to me and I'll put those in the description so that they can like you, subscribe, follow all things The.Brand.Rich for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you again so much. If you like these episodes, make sure that you subscribe and follow The Design Therapy on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then also on my website at thedesigntherapy.co. I am so glad that you were able to join us on this episode. If you want to learn more, just message me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. No, never forget.